All right. Well, I can't believe it. This is going to be like the most ragtag stream I've ever done on this channel, but I could not talk about it. Oh my God. We're getting movie figures. We're getting Masters of the Universe movie figures from the Masterverse toy line. And I did not expect this. I had to come on the channel here to talk about it with y'all. So if you do not know, this just dropped on the Masters of the Universe social channels that we are getting movie versions of He-Man and Skeletor. And this is a big deal because we got versions of these figures in the classics toy line, but it was kind of this weird rights issue kind of thing where they made it happen, but that's probably the only time it's going to happen. But now we're actually getting these figures as a straight up figure. So this is really, really cool. Let's say hello to the chat. We've got Evil Villain here. Good afternoon. It's unexpected, and kind of go deep with there's so many movie figures that I think we would all love to see. Geek Illustrator Dad is here. Pimp Daddy Flex is here. Adam E. Holy cow, indeed. Johnny Valderramos. Hopefully, this new movie, Masterverse Figures, brings down the price of classics ones. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know we'll have to look at the secondary market prices on those in a second. Stefan is here. Hot Dog is here. And yeah, Gwildor, young Courtney Cox figure. Yeah, I'm sure she'll approve that. Geeky is here. Punk with Toys, Jamie Von, poor He-Man head sculpt. Do they ever do a good job with the He-Man head sculpt? But we can talk about that in a second. Great Gambino is here. Flash is here. Death Saves, Hoth Dog, Kayla Silva is in the house. Shiny Plastic People, Durant, Pedro. Yeah, Skeletor does look amazing. This Frank Langella Skeletor looks fantastic. Joseph Joe Kerr, Az, Roberts, Alpha Magnus. Pop O Loco is here. I Bannon 3G. Totally rad. Dad. SoCal Shallon. Good to see you, good friend. Lifelong toy collector. Yeah, right. Mattel is determined to get us. If you're not in it already, they're swinging for the fences, and how can you fault them for that? Indeed, Pop Toy Geeks, but John is not here. I'm sure he's dying that he can't be on the stream right now talking about this. I do not think he was expecting this either. I think Super 7 did a super job with the head sculpts, but the articulation is way better with these figures. That is very true. And Boomstick Saint, Geek Strong, Dark Six Soldier, Judy is here. Title to 9 training or check out Toys with Jay. Hard choice, indeed. And smack that like button if you haven't done it yet. Okay, so yes, we've got 2 figure reveals here for the MOTUesday. And I gotta admit, when they did this, and they're cool. These little, graphic stop motion things are cool. But I was like, is that going to be it? But just a few minutes ago, we got this drop here of these 2 figures. And, which one should we talk about first? Should it be Skeletor? Or should we do He-Man? I think Skeletor is the best one out of the 2, just from these 2 images. And I think it is actually, Alpha. I'm glad that you brought this up because we talked about this on Toy Geeks this Sunday, and it is, let's see, I think it was Big Bad Toy Store, does have this deluxe Skeletor. Where are you at? Yeah, deluxe Skeletor. I spelled Skeletor wrong. For $34, which would put it in that $32 range. If it was at retail. So, I think Toy News Eye and a couple other outlets were talking about, okay, at one point this said movie figure, and then that got removed, and now it just says Masters of the Universe Deluxe Skeletor. So I think it almost all of the things tie together that this, placeholder that's on Amazon or was on Amazon and is on Big Bad Toy Store as well, is going to be that Skeletor, and I guess by extension, this movie He-Man. But we won't know for sure until they explicitly tell us. But according to this listing, it's supposed to arrive in October of this year. And yeah, Golden Gods got. I mean, there's just so many movie characters from the Masters of the Universe film that would make great action figures. But yeah, I think Jay will sing a He-Man. No, Geek Strong, not gonna happen. So yeah, and again, the Super 7 ones are pricey. Actually, let's check those out right now on eBay. Because it's, what is it, Rebel Leader He-Man for 7? Is that what it was called? So okay, you're looking at, let's go to sold listings so we can actually track that. But it's not cheap, no matter how you shake it. Let's see. So most of, okay, $136. That's mock. 140, 130, 179. Well, that was a good deal. $86. Loose was $99. And while just on, I don't have this figure. I'm actually in talks right now to acquire said figure, so I can do my Masterverse versus MOTUesday video whenever I get my hands on this one. But that's a pretty decent Dolph Lundgren head sculpt compared to what we're seeing with this other He-Man figure. So let's look at him real quick. I actually got the images separated from the social post so we can zoom in on them, because I do think that is important. But when looking at the He-Man, the head sculpt is not as good as the Super 7 one, nor have any of them been as good. But there's just something about He-Man that they never seem to get right. But I honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I think out of all the He-Man heads so far, it's not the worst He-Man head. We got a super chat here. $5 super chat. Thank you, Unsourced Wall Radio. People say the head looks bad, which is true, but the figure looks so much more fun to handle and cape detail. That is very true. I think the soft goods that they have used on the Masterverse figures are so much more fun than the the hard plastic capes that we got on the Classics toy line. So to me, the armor, the articulation, and look at all the detail on this thing. Like, look at all the gold paint application. Look at the wash on all of the accessories. It looks fantastic. And not to say that we have to buy a second or a third party head sculpt, but I think you could do that, and for a lot cheaper than still maybe buying the Super 7 one, and you'd probably have yourself a more displayable, posable, more fun, movie style He-Man to go on your toy shelf. And Shannon, this is a great call out. Yeah, He-Man and Luke Skywalker suffer from the least. It's the He-Man head sculpting syndrome. I don't know what it is. But I can't, it's, holy crap. He looks like Vanna White. I can't unsee that now. Lifelong toy. It does look like Vanna White. And yeah, just give it a little bit long hair. And just flipping over some letters there, it does have a somewhat Vanna White look to it. But still, I think aside from the head sculpt being Vanna White-esque, I still think it's passable. It's serviceable enough to where Hordak X on Instagram does amazing head sculpts. Buying one from him, that will probably look amazing on this figure. Exactly. And Allison Troy, thank you for calling this out as well. That it might look better in hand. So a lot of times these pictures can sometimes look not as good in person or in these first images as it does in hand. But let's look at the positive here, aside from the Vanna Whiteness of the head sculpt. Like, again, the paint applications on the sword, all of the accessories, the soft goods, I think it looks really, really good. Exactly. Agreed here. I do think the toy face has some charm, but those symbols on the cape, so good. Agree. Like, everything here looks really, really good. Death saves. Everything else about this figure is cool though. Yeah, and so I think let's praise the things that have gone well here. And maybe they couldn't get the Dolph Lundgren license, but Vanna White's likeness was cheaper. But anywho, I think let's plus this in right here, because I think it's what we all want now, right? Troy. Now I want movie figures and Origins, Tila, Man at Arms, Evelyn, Beastman, Karg, Blade. Gimme. Agreed. Right? I think these two figures are so exciting, but what's the most exciting is what potentially can come down the line, right? And they've shown already in the Origins line how they'll do multiple versions and different generations of characters in the toy line, and being able to add movie versions of these characters in Origins, Masterverse, is really really cool. Can I buy a Val? But yeah, I think we'll see. Okay, so yeah, Sora. Yeah, I mean, there's again, the fact that we can do this is the most exciting thing about this reveal, even though I think the figures are really good in themselves. Geek Strong, I'm all in if they made a Pat Sajak Skeletor. Oh, actually, I like this. Yeah, gives me Prince Charming vibes from Shrek 2. That's a good call out as well, for sure. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options here in the future, which is really exciting. And while these massive figures are cool, we all know the figures we want are Gwildor and Cow 2-pack Moo Moo. Special action features that you can look left and right. Yeah, a little the pupils there. Again, this is a picture. It maybe isn't going to be as bad in person. But anywho, let's move on to the Skeletor here. And again, this one I think looks, in terms of the head sculpt department, looks way better than the old He-Man. But still, look at, if this is $32, look at all the detail in this thing. Like, look at every inch of this dude. He's got a little silver paint on the fingertip. Like, it looks absolutely fantastic. And that Langella, Skeletor head sculpt, I think looks great. The movie He-Man aside, being a little soft, you got to give him credit where credit's due on the Skeletor. I think it looks fantastic. I think it does look, so it looks like just like Frank Langella today. The Havoc staff is killer. We do need the gold Skeletor, absolutely. I hope Skeletor has a sword and cosmic key. Super 7 would be comparable and way more. Yeah, we'll look at that one in a second too, for sure. Give us the first Masterverse vehicle, a movie Cadillac. Neil. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about we need a Courtney Cox figure. A lot of people forget that she's, one of the main people in that film. His face is strange for sure. It's not to be getting, definitely with like Origins version more. The 2000X He-Man head looks more like Dolph than this. That's actually a pretty good. I laying around here somewhere. Again, likeness is a tricky thing. Mattel hasn't been aces in terms of like getting movie characters likenesses in action figure form, right? They've gotten a lot better, but they're still not, using that photorealistic technology that Hasbro seems to be implying. Matty Creations movie prop up of the key. Now that would be awesome. That's a great call out there, Flash. Commander Splinks. I feel more of the budget went towards Skeletor than He-Man. But again, He-Man has a lot there. It's just the head sculpt doesn't look great. But look at all the gold detail. Like, there's a lot of detail on the He-Man. It has a full sword sheath on the back. Like, there's tons here. It's just this head sculpt doesn't look great. And Skeletor, though, I think looks great top to bottom. So maybe all of the extra detail they're adding to this makes it seem more special. And we've got a member to the GDL family. Shui, welcome to the family. Let me give you an official.
I got family.
You got family, Shui. Welcome. But yeah, I think movie Grayskull. Oh my God. Right? Like, maybe we're getting demanding here, but why not? Like, again, I think it looks really really good. Skeletor looks movie accurate. He-Man does not. Well, again, let's take a look now at the Super 7 Skeletor. Let's see if we can pull up his cost. What was his name again? How do they denote him in the line? Okay, yeah, the Dolph Lundgren head sculpt on the Super 7 one is way better. But again, hopefully somebody can do like a third party head sculpt that we can add to the Masterverse one, because the critiques are fair that this one is not as articulated, and the little gold details are a little bit more muddled here than we're seeing on the Masterverse one. But again, we won't know until we can compare them side by side. Luckily, I have acquired the Classics one, and then we'll do a side by side comparison, do the Masterverse versus Classics video on the He-Man. I'll be attempting to do that with the Skeletor as well. But yeah, so let's see. Let's look up Skeletor movie. Skeletor 7 Skeletor movie. Come on. What was his actual name so I can find this easier? Can somebody let me know in the chat? There it is. That head sculpt still does look pretty good. But Dark Despot Skeletor. Thank you. All right. Dark Despot Skeletor. All right, and then let's look at the price for him on the secondary market. It is clearly higher than the He-Man, which again, if you're looking at $200, okay, 170, 141, okay, $100 bid. So that's pretty good, actually. This is a loose one for $100. So again, you're looking at anywhere from like 200 to 100 and $200 to $300 if you're buying these in person. So again, the Super 7 ones, it's clearly more detail in them. But they're a lot more expensive. So you're dropping $300 on these versus $60 or so for the Masterverse for both of them. If they do hit at that $32, $34 a figure price point. So, I think weigh your options there. I wish, whoever the Mattel sculptors are, I wish they would hire whomever NECA uses or because like NECA isn't using like photo printing technology. They're just straight sculpting them, and they look, in general, look fantastic. And so, the actual results that the Mattel team gets isn't as solid, but I guess there's trade-offs across the board. Are these hot dog ass? Are these digital renders or actual photos? They look like actual photos. Ryan Dose, I kind of wish these were Origins movie figs, but I'll save it for sad comments later. Well, the thing is, it's just the first ones they're showing us, right? And Mattel needs to use the 4 Horsemen. And they have, right? They have in the Origins line. But maybe they need to source to them more often. Especially for a deluxe figure, you're gonna have a little bit of extra premium to it. So I think that's important. So Cal Shallon, I've passed a few times on the Super 7 figs because of price. So excited to buy these, and I think that's the thing to remember here too, because while it's hard to argue against the Super 7s are great sculpted figures, as true of any Classics figure, this is going to be a lot cheaper, and I think this is a really good Skeletor. So I think that's important to remember here. This is dope. Some GDL now, YHS later. Yes, indeed. If you want, I assume the Toy Anxiety crew will be talking about this tonight, among other things. I think they already have their topic for tonight, but you can go to Toy Anxiety on YouTube and you can see their show tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Exactly. I think it opens up the possibility for Origins versions and other movie characters as well. Completely agree, Mass Fan. I think that's the thing to remember here. Figure attack, nostalgia, indeed. Mattel's using pieces from Classics in the Origins line, so they are borrowing Horseman sculpts. Well, as far as I know, the Horsemen are doing, giving them new sculpts like the Leech. Even though it's very close to classics, I think they gave them a new sculpt there. So, that is very, very important. And yeah, Dole is part of the Toy Anxiety crew. And I think Dole committed to being our sub in for John on this Sunday's Toy Geeks. So we haven't decided what our bootleg name's going to be, but I think currently Toy Geeks International is the name. And I think this is a fair comparing aftermarket prices to retail really isn't comparable in my opinion. I get that, and people when I do the Masterverse versus Classics videos criticize me for that when they say, well, it's not the same. You could buy this figure for $35 and you wouldn't have to pay $200 now or whatever. But the fact of the matter remains, for anybody that wants this kind of figure now that doesn't have it, you're then comparing $200 for a figure or $34 for a figure. And that to me is the basis by which, that is weighted, when you think about it. TGI Sunday. Ooh, TGI Sunday. I like that, Dole. I like that. Stump that Dole. Oh yeah, we're gonna stump Dole for some action figure accessories. Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Toy Geeks, 2 countries, 1 stream. Horsemen, and thank you for confirming this, A. Troy. Horsemen have done work on Origins. They only reuse classic pieces for Masters of the WWE. Let's see, where's John this weekend? He's getting out these toys for $5 already. Yeah, he is traveling and not able to join the streams this week. But there's a chance if there's a good MOTUesday next Tuesday, he'll be able to jump in on that one. But anywho, Toy Biz tonight for Toy Biz tonight. That's fun. I like that. Man. Okay. Intercontinental. I love that. Okay. So, final thoughts. While the He-Man head sculpt is okay, the rest of it I think looks fantastic. And I will gladly and very excitedly purchase this figure. And the Skeletor, I think, looks great. Like, I don't have any problems with the Skeletor for the promo pick, right? And promo picks are always going to look a little less, at least in my experience, than what we get in hand. And to me, what we see here, even in the promo picks, it's not a render. It looks like a legit toy. Looks fantastic. So I'm excited to get this figure as well. So I'm perfectly happy to pick these things up. We're still waiting on confirmation of if that Skeletor is that listed deluxe Skeletor at $34 on Big Bad Toy Store, $34.99, which again would be the if it was in retail, $32.99. So if is at that price point, I think it's still a pretty good deal, just considering all of the detail that we're seeing on the figures. Red Former, the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Red. Remember, all the Masterverse figures need to look good together on a shelf. That's the reason why they aren't super detailed. That's a good point, Red. But I feel like you can get better as it goes along, right? Like the early, and it almost was opposite for classics in a lot of ways, where classics, the paint and the sculpting was, or at least what they gave us in the final product, was better than some of the later figures, in my opinion. So it can go either way. It can't be extreme, right? It can't be like coming out of nowhere doing something completely different. So totally agree. And yeah, I think because referencing the Toy News Eye article that we talked about on Toy Geeks this Sunday, said the listing for this was originally deluxe movie Skeletor, and they pulled the movie from the listings on the title. That until we don't know 100% for sure yet, but it almost is confirmed that this listing for the Masterverse Deluxe Skeletor is in fact going to be the movie Skeletor. So I think that's something to keep in mind here. So but still, I think this is great news, a great MOTUesday reveal, and hopefully, we'll this will lead to many more characters from the Masters of the Universe film, because we're ready for it, right? And I love seeing a big company like Mattel do this, in the same way that, say, NECA is giving us, all these movie versions of the characters, cartoon versions of the characters. And I think, Mattel doing all of it in-house is pretty cool and should be applauded. All right, if there aren't any other thoughts, we will wrap up the show right there. I do have, let me pull up. There we go. Nope, not that one. Oh, I did it to the TV. I did want to plus in the credits for our patrons. Again, without you, these shows would not be possible. So let me bring you up here to share some love to our patrons. If you'd like to become a patron and help this channel grow, become a patron at patreon.com/geekdeadlife. Here they all right here. Thank you to all the patrons. Thank you to all of the GDL family members. You all make, again, these shows possible. Thank you to the super chats as well. Really, this is jumping in between meetings in a work day to talk about MOTU. I love doing it. And, however you support it, whether it's a simple like on the video or all the way up to being a patron to the channel, I appreciate it so, so much. Or even just viewing it. You don't even need to like it. If you're just here viewing it and having a good time and being a part of this awesome community, I thank you so much. All right, everybody, that will do it for this very impromptu, very last minute live stream on those movie figures. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye. Have a good rest of your week, everybody.